Thank you again for braving the elements and come to celebrate with us today, and welcome everyone who is watching us online. Sort of reminds me of, those pictures of when they had football and basketball games and baseball games in the middle of the pandemic, right? When they would pan the crowd and there would be nobody in the stands. But thank you for celebrating with us. So ordinary time sounds so ordinary. Nothing special. But we need ordinary time. We need the rhythm of our daily lives to transform them into something different. That's the point of Christmas. We've moved from the great celebration of Christmas and the feast of the Holy Family to Epiphany Sunday and the baptism of the Lord last Sunday. Through them, we all remain a Christmas people, Emmanuel. God is with us, not just for a few days at the end of the year or the beginning of the year, but always. Christmas should be a transformative feast. We need that light that shined so brightly a few short weeks ago to remain bright in our lives at work, at home, and in school, and yes, in ordinary time. And so we come to today's story from John's Gospel, the first public miracle of Jesus. How troubling it is to run out of something. We've all been there, one way or another. I have degrees in math and statistics, so numbers attract me. In the Gospel today, John mentions that the waiters fill 6 stone water jars with water, each holding up to 30 gallons. 6 times 30 gallons is 180 gallons. It's a lot of wine. Doing the math and using today's standards of 6 ounces per wine glass, each water jar holds 640 glasses. Multiply that times 6 jars and you get 3,840 glasses. Estimating 5 glasses per wine bottle and 12 bottles per case, those 6 water jars were transformed into the equivalent of 768 bottles or 64 cases of wine. I'm staggered by the amount of wine that Jesus made. But I also remember the crisis that precipitated this miracle. The moment that the jars were transformed, and that moment when you realize you've run out of something, whatever it is. In my own life, I felt the need for a miracle now and then, because I too have felt run out, dried up, like something had evaporated, even spiritually. And I bet you have too, at one time or another. You feel like you've run out of luck, run out of hope, out of blessings. Something stops flowing, like a garden hose that has that kink in it. Suddenly there's no water. And the pandemic and what seems to be the daily changes in its severity and impact introduced new challenges for all of us. Now, there are many miracle stories in the Gospels, and many of them are performed in private, out of sight from the crowds. Consider today's story. Most of the guests at the wedding were likely unaware of what actually happened in the first place. And Christ does his work, and through each one of us, most of the time, without any fanfare, in ordinary time. But that doesn't mean it's not real or unimportant. The ability to encourage someone by our presence or concern. The ability to walk with someone suffering by listening to them. By the very act of care and noticing someone despite everything about them that repulses us. These are not dramatic events. They occur every day in ordinary time. But that is how, my friends, Christmas remains with us and transforms us. And this is how the Holy Spirit remains with us, at work in us. St. Paul makes it clear in our second reading today that each of us, young or old, man or woman, clergy or lay, has spiritual gifts that are to be used for the good of the community. Now, we may look at turning of water into wine as just a bottomless wine supply story. Yet this couple invited Jesus into their marriage and trusted him to help when problems arose. Mary tells the waiters, do whatever he tells you. They do. And an abundance of choice wine, 64 cases worth, is found. So how do we unkink the personal hoses in our own lives when they appear? When we dip into the choice wine of the Holy Spirit within us, we not only become nourished, we're the source of nourishment to others. Yes, we can't sweep the pandemic or all our societal challenges away from us. But we are presented with an opportunity to bear witness to the revelation of God's glory in Jesus. Emmanuel, God is with us in ordinary time, in our ordinary lives. And so let me conclude with this prayer from Howard Thurman. When the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flock, the work of Christmas begins. To find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nation, to bring peace among brothers and sisters, to take music in the heart. Christmas is over. We are once again in ordinary time. But the work of Christmas continues.